Okay, happy Saturday morning, everybody. I am enjoying so much, as I said in the email yesterday, reading through your work. You're doing a beautiful job with all these texts so far. Like, it's been a great couple of days. I am woefully behind, I feel now, on actually giving feedback. So that's what I'm going to turn to next. I read everything this morning and quickly entered some grades so that we're up to date again. And now I need to go back in and say nice things to you all because you're writing such smart, about such smart ideas. One of the things I think that's a thread kind of running through one of the posts around about the authors is your concerns about being able to notice children's interesting thinking. And I do think that's the hardest part of teaching. And that, yeah, actually you should feel good that makes you uncomfortable. Like that's not a bad thing. I know it's a fear, and it's one of the reasons I address the prompt that way. But I think that's all a part of being a reflective educator. Is often it's actually not kids or students who are lacking in some way. It's sometimes our own abilities to notice cool stuff that doesn't look like the way we might do it. And with little kids learning to write, they just need tons and tons of practice and not a ton of you're doing this wrong, because we all know we sometimes get through our education and feel like we're just not capable when we actually are. And you're really unlikely to keep doing something when someone keeps telling you you're bad at it. So the spelling will come just from interaction with texts and lots of books and lots of other writing. You kind of have to know that's going to make its way through. And yeah, reading little kid writing is hard. Best way, and especially those of your parents know this, is to ask them, what does this say? And then they'll tell you. You're like, wow, that's a really interesting spelling. My favorite, I have a kid, Kate Button. That's her name, Kate Button Elliott's cutest name. Who, do I have a better pen? Maybe not. Yeah, here. Who, when she was 4, I hope you can see this, started writing her stories with, this is Once Upon. Get it? Isn't that cool? I've told some of you who've been in my other classes, like, I'm only spelling once upon a time this way from now on, but she's 4 and that was her way. It's really phonetically smart. Once upon a time. Little kids are so cool. It's a neat thing you get to do. The other reason I was posting a video is because you have your first make coming up by tomorrow night. And Miranda and Alondra have already shared theirs, and they're beautiful. They did a really great job using Story Jumper. So if you're looking for a couple of examples, 2 of your classmates have already done it. And they also did a really good job on the little reflection part where they say why they wrote the story the way that they did or how they approached it. So those are good examples too. The intention here is for you to, in these makes, is to try out things that you might also do with little kids, which is why this stuff doesn't look like some formalized academic essay, because that's not the stuff always you'll do with elementary school, and it's also not the thing that's the most helpful sometimes. So I want to give you a chance to try out platforms that you might actually use. So Story Jumper is great. Little kids do really cool things with it. So if you are game, that might be a thing for you to try out to see if you want to use it. Or, some of you already talked about how much you like to write poetry. So this might be your chance to turn a story about your name or a story about why you want to be a teacher, or I don't know, anything in your life, how you got your dog. The dog pictures are great. This might be that opportunity to turn that into something poetic or even prose form kind of story. This little make cycle is all about storytelling. So a lot of room for what you put in your story. The pre kind of activity before your make is where I have some prompts, a ton of prompts that you can use to make lists to generate ideas for writing, a lot of your favorites. And I recommend there that you just set a timer and just kind of brainstorm as many things as you can and then go back to the list that felt more generative. But sometimes those will help you be inspired for, here's something I could write about this family vacation or something. And then you might also use, I think Jacqueline Woodson's 2 poems that I had as mentor text yesterday, I think are great examples of something you can do. You might look up the year you were born and kind of borrow her style of kind of contextualizing your birth into what was going on in the world and your hopes and dreams, those kinds of things. So yeah, a lot of room here, and I just need to wake up Monday morning and be able to grade it and see it. So, you have some flexibility there. I'm super excited for you to get to watch Mac Barnett's TED Talk. It's one of my favorites. And his TED Talk is, well, first of all, he's just lovely and he's really funny. And it will remind you why it's really important for us to read lots of children's books. It's really hard to be an elementary or any kind of a teacher and not be a pretty voracious reader. And so now is the time for you to start. Just have people buy you books like crazy, or start, hunting yard sales or going to the library. He reminds us why storytelling is so important and what it does for both adults and kids. Once you look up Chetska and Barnett, at some point, you'll probably recognize a lot of books that maybe you've even read to your own kids or that you've had read to you as a kid. One of my favorites that they wrote together is, wait, I can't do this. I don't have spatial ability, is Battle Bunny. And Battle Bunny is originally Birthday Bunny. And these authors have written this as if an 8-year-old named Alex has taken a Sharpie and rewritten Birthday Bunny to be Battle Bunny. And it is so funny. And actually there's a YouTube video of them reading each part, Birthday Bunny and Battle Bunny. I'll put a link to the website with this because they actually invite teachers and students to make their own version of Birthday Bunny, like Pirate Bunny or Prom Bunny or Disney Princess, but I don't know, whatever. And upload those images to their site. They have a whole bunch of lesson plans for teachers, so I'll post a link in an email this morning to y'all and on our website too. So yeah, I'm excited for you to get to watch Mac Barnett's TED Talk. He's, awesome. I think that's it. Yeah, I need to just go back and start giving more feedback. And this is great. I'm having a blast reading your work. As I said in the email yesterday, I'm not used to having 18 students instead of 140. So every time I enter grades, I'm like, wow, that's it? Wow, that was quick. So, and it gives me just so much more time to just really spend time with your ideas. So I'm very grateful. I'm just chugging tea as fast as I can this morning and keep going. And yeah, I hope you're all enjoying your Saturday. We won't always have stuff due on the weekends. This is just kind of us getting geared up. I'm going to go ahead and post Make Cycle 2 today instead of tomorrow because some of you are flying and probably would appreciate a little bit extra time. So I'm going to do that actually next. Have a great Saturday. Thanks for all your work. Of course, feel free to email me with questions.